So my name is Danielle Fontaine. I'm a teacher and I've taught for 31 years and I'm just freshly retired. I had the honor of working with the First Nation Child and Family Caring Society for the last almost 10 years, bringing ideas of reconciliation and understanding the issues of social justice in Canada and looking at history of oppression in Canada in the classroom. Always through my career, I've always been curious about social justice issues and fairness. And then a colleague of mine showed a film to the class, and it was a quick little video of Shannon Kustashin. I remember that day the teacher had cleared out her classroom, opened it up, had the video showing, had invited several other classrooms to come so that we were packed in there, and we were just spellbound watching the video and learning about Shannon. And it was a really profound experience. For me, it was about something so meaningful that was happening with the kids. And you teach math, you teach writing, you teach phys ed, but then here you are teaching something about people and about history and in injustice that's happening. And kids understand it more than anything, I find. They couldn't put it together that there was such an unequal treatment to Indigenous people and children and in the community. Shannon talked about the difficulties in her school. So they had questions about why there was inequities in education. Why was a school where there was an oil leak under the school, where the kids were living with fumes of gas and suffering, why this was happening in the community, and if it happened here in Ottawa, things would have changed like overnight. They wanted to find a way to fix it. They wanted to write letters and they wanted to share what had happened to her and what was happening still.
My name is Lynn Rainboth. I've worked for over 20 years in the Ottawa Carleton District School Board, teaching English and math in a French immersion school. I started my career working for 2 years on reserve in Rapid Lake in La Vérendrye Park. Well, it started through my friendship with Sylvia Smith, who's a huge advocate. And I worked half-time and I went down to the tribunal and I heard about Shannon Kustashin. And then I saw on YouTube Danielle and Annie and the whole Lady Evelyn School winding their way along the canal and heading downtown to make their voices heard. And I saw how they had congregated at their school ahead of time with Charlie Angus and Shannon Kustashin's family, and I was completely enwrapped and inspired and moved by their brave and very visionary work. I felt it was visionary work. The most important thing for me is when you start this work, when you start laying the groundwork to head towards, let's say, Have a Heart Day on Parliament Hill, you're in kind of a different field. You're suddenly working for a purpose. All the literacy that they've worked up, all the skills they've developed over the years suddenly have purpose. Hearing about Shannon and the plight of students on reserve, the unfair conditions, the portables, the cold, the contaminated sites and so on, and their hearts are truly moved. And to be given an opportunity for voice for them kind of changes everything. And then when we get down to Parliament and we're at have that iconic background and it's snowing and there's all these hearts everywhere and there's kids on the podium, kids are speaking. They are once again transformed, empowered. As Cindy has said, this is a movement by children for children, and I try and get out of the way and it becomes theirs. They become the teachers of each other, of me. So this is transformational work.
There were times when we didn't have as many supportive people around us. I know that the school board had its questions about what we were doing, and they were very afraid that it was political, and they didn't want us to be working on anything political. But we had an amazing trustee who was very supportive and a champion for Shannon Stream, and so she brought into the board a whole understanding of what Shannon Stream was about and how it was so important for children to take part and participate in this. And then parents as well were very supportive and interested and knew that there was injustice and wanted to know what they could do. And they really felt that this was going to change their children's lives.
Certainly when we started out, people in the school didn't know about residential schools. They didn't know about the unfair treatment of First Nations, Métis and Inuit students on reserve, the disparity in their funding. This was not sort of really out in the common domain. So there was a lot of work just to educate, and you could feel people, other teachers were sort of uncomfortable. Same with parents, and some students weren't allowed to go to Parliament Hill. They weren't allowed to write letters, or they had some reservations. They were hearing different stories at home. And the important thing for me was to establish right from the get-go, I'm telling you what I think. I would like you to bring into the class what you think, what you see, what statistics and information you find, and all voices are respected here. Your parents' voices are respected here. I'm not telling you what to think.
Kids are smart. They're so smart, and they can process things. They ask questions, and we can work through, sad things. But you also need to teach the beauty and the resilience and the living culture that's there.
It's the work that we're supposed to be doing. You feel close to the pulse of what the curriculum is really about. It's about developing citizens who will have voice, who will participate fully and meaningfully in democracy for what they believe in. And this sets them up. You're providing them with a framework that they will carry throughout their lives. So you're embodying the deepest parts of the curriculum through this work. You know what is appropriate for the grade level that you're working with. It's also very respectful to share truth with them. They will respond and surprise you in ways that you hadn't imagined. And their beauty of their language, their civic engagement, their humanitarian engagement is such a powerful force.
Teachers have a big job. They have so much responsibility. I would say just be kind to yourself as a teacher. I would say trust yourself as a teacher. And I would also, the most important thing I would say is see yourself as a learner, the same as your students. You're learning about this together.
This is an historic time. Holding our government to account has never been more important. And we get to be part of this journey. It's a great privilege. I would advise teachers to seek out other teachers that are doing this work and to share resources and experiences and inspirations, because it is work that is meant to be done as a collective. It is community building work.